Origin Code Academy. Our job is to get you one.
Welcome to Origin Talks. I'm Jeff Winkler with Origin Code Academy, and today we have Jon Broderick with Sayva Solutions with us today. Thanks for coming in today, Jon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You have a pretty good idea of what people are hiring for in the San Diego market. So technically speaking, what are some of the top skills that employers in San Diego are looking for right now?
Yeah, from a programming language, I think a lot of what we see in San Diego versus some of the other markets like the Bay Area is you see a lot of Java and stuff up there. Down here, it's traditionally been more of a Microsoft area, so we see a lot of like C#, .NET, environments. Working with like MVC, Entity Framework, pretty much a SQL Server, big Microsoft stacks. On the front end, you're seeing, all the basics, CSS, HTML, all that jazz, but Angular is obviously getting big. Things like React, Meteor, any of these JavaScript frameworks, you're starting to see a lot more complex JavaScript needs from different clients.
Okay. So if you were a junior developer in San Diego, how would you go about finding a job knowing what you know now about the market itself?
Yeah.
So let's assume you already knew C# and Angular. What would the process look like? Because you're kind of intimidated because if you're a junior, you've never found a job.
And it's tough, right? So if you're a junior developer, a lot of people are looking for 3 to 5 years experience, or there's just a slew of requirements that people are looking for. And if you're coming into the market as a junior person, you really have to set yourself apart from somebody who might have a little bit more experience. The biggest way is by showing your passion and your aptitude to learn. So I think developing side projects, different things like making sure you have a GitHub ready to go with repositories where you're actually contributing constantly. It's a good way to set yourself apart. So your online presence is going to be huge. Getting your resume uploaded onto all the different Indeed, Dice, Monster, Career Builder, anything like that. Will allow for people who are actively looking for someone to contact you. Having a really strong LinkedIn presence is also really important. As a recruiter, one of the main tools we use is LinkedIn, where we're headhunting people that look like they fit roles that we're working on. So not just having a LinkedIn, but filling it out thoroughly with the different technologies you've worked with, different projects you've worked on, your passions, hobbies, things like that are all helpful. Because once we determine the culture of one of our clients, we want to find someone who kind of fits that culture, not just from a technical standpoint, but also let's say we have a lot of clients who are right on the beach. You put you're a surfer. Sometimes that helps meld with that manager who we know is looking for someone with the same type of mindset, things like that. And I think the biggest thing is just being really proactive with your search. So not just, you want to get your resume out there so people can find you, but even more than that, you want to target the companies that you want to work for, and you want to make sure that you reach out to the people who are in charge of those companies and let them know who you are, what it is you're looking to do. Maybe you're not qualified for the roles they have currently, but let them know that, hey, you're a company that I'd like to work for. If I'm not qualified now, I'm going to do what it takes to get qualified so that I can end up working with your team. I think that proactive approach is one that most people don't take, submitting resumes, and then on top of that, following up, reaching out to managers, reaching out to HR departments to make sure that they have your application.
So you just came to demo day. What are 2 or 3 things that you saw today that maybe were your favorite projects, or maybe 2 or 3 things that pleasantly surprised you today that you saw?
Yeah, well, I was very pleasantly surprised coming to a demo day today. I think that concerning these, your students came out with, it was 3 months of training, about a month spent on their final project, and they had fully functioning web apps that were integrated with multiple different APIs. They were able to take concepts, take a product from concept through launch and be able to demo it to us today just that quickly. It's really impressive. The ones that stood out the most were the ones where you could tell that the student had a passion for what he was building and then went and made it happen. So I think the project was called Mixilus. Student created a online music collaboration app where you could produce music with your friends online, lay down some tracks, send it to them, they could lay down something over it. It was cool from a technical standpoint, it was obviously well done, pretty impressive, but his passion for what he was doing, that's what really stood out. He obviously is into music. He took a problem that he's wanted to solve in his past, and it's something that's been obviously kind of irking him, and he created a solution for it. And he did that all in, just a few weeks of coding. Obviously with your guys is a little bit of a training there, so.
Yeah, basically because of Cameron.
Is that, Cameron's the man?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so tell us a little bit about Sayva Solutions. Where in San Diego are they at? why would they use you over a competitor per se? Like, what makes you guys different?
Yeah, I think we get that question a lot, both from candidates that we're representing as well as clients. There's a lot of people in town that are technology recruiters or placing people within the technology space. One thing that really sets us apart, and the reason that I joined Sayva, is that we're really relationship based. Like we recognize that long-term relationships are more important than just a quick, do a deal and make some money. Which is why a lot of the times when we're looking at a situation, we won't always think like, hey, how is this going to benefit us the most? But how is this going to benefit the total situation the most? How is this going to benefit our client and our candidate the most? Because we know it's not just one and done. We know we're going to help that client find candidates again in the future.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today's episode of Origin Talks. I just want to thank Jon again for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it was a good
Jon.
time. Thanks for having me.